What is up? Hello, hello, hello. How y'all doing? I feel like it's been a little while. I say that all the time because, like, consistency is a challenge for you, girl, but working on it. Actually, it's going to be my word for the quarter. The word for the quarter is consistency. So today is our monthly live Q&A session. Let me start with introducing myself. I'm wilding. And y'all excuse me for being half naked. I just left the gym and went to get an oil change and didn't get home in time to change or pull myself together for this live. So y'all about to get half dressed Libria. I might put my jacket on. Anyway, my name is Libria Jones. I am the founder of Quit Commuting. I help people get more life into their life work balance equation. People say work life balance. I say life work balance because the living part comes first, friends. You know what I'm saying? Hey, good morning. How y'all doing? So yeah, my name is Libria Jones. I've been working remotely since like 2008. Yeah, for a long time. I'm OG in game. I've been doing this for a very long time. This is not a pandemic thing. I didn't start coaching people on working remotely after the pandemic either. I've been doing that since 2015. I took a group of people around the world for a whole year. Hey, Audrey. How y'all doing? Good morning. I took a whole group of people around the world for a whole year. And during that time, I actually helped a few of those people get remote jobs, and I helped a few of them convince their employer to let them work remotely so that they could travel with us for a whole year, which is pretty dope. So that said, when I got back in 2017, I started hosting classes and things like that to help people find and land remote work. And so that's what I do. I have a course called the Remote Ready Bundle that is really, really good. If I do say so myself, it's a really good course. I put a lot of work into that thing. I think it's really good. And it walks you through the 4 stages of finding and landing remote work. And there's a lot of really great stuff in there. A few things that I love that's in there is there's a list of 100 places to find remote work. There's a list of 250 remote first companies. And remote first companies like don't care where you work from. There is a session in there, a video in there on how to use AI to power your job search. I teach you a whole bunch of things, a whole lot of things. There's a really good pep talk on interviews. So like if you are challenged with interviews, if you struggle through interviews, I'm giving you a whole pep talk in that bad boy. Like, come on, baby, like work from a place of power. So anyway, that's the course. I'm going to drop the link to that here. And you can also join the community. Our community is actually free to join. If you want to upgrade to full access, it's $29.99 a month. But right now, we're letting people upgrade to full access for free for 30 days. Okay, so get on that. And full access means that I'm trying to type and do this at the same time. Full access means that you get a lot more guidance and coaching. So I do this call with that group every single week. And then they also get biweekly resume reviews. So somebody can come and review your resume whenever you need to. Monthly LinkedIn reviews, so you can get your LinkedIn reviewed. And then job search strategy. Martisha just joined right as I'm introducing her session. So Martisha Childs does a monthly job search strategy session with us. And so that is all included in full access membership. So head over to the website. Oh, I gave you guys the wrong address. Let me try that again. It's quitcommuting.com. Sorry. Don't go to QCA. Go to quitcommuting.com. That is the website. All right. This is a Q&A session. So I want you guys to ask me questions. We're going to do this for 15 minutes. And then I'm going to bring on my homegirl because she came through to drop some gems on y'all. I can't call her my homegirl. My mom told me that homegirl means that they're from the city that you're from. I just call my friends homegirls. So I didn't know that was a thing. So my girl then, my homie, she is going to drop some gems on how she's been able to work remotely and for a very, very long time and help a lot of people get that kind of freedom. Because a lot of you guys don't just want to work remotely. You want to work from anywhere. And let's be very clear, working remotely and working from anywhere can be two different things. All right. So thank you. I appreciate you saying that. All right. What questions y'all have? Because I don't have an agenda. Like, this is not a presentation. I just came here to answer questions. Y'all be sliding up in my DMs. And unfortunately, my DMs are trash. And I'm not very good at responding to them. I am full of shit when it comes to responding to my DMs. I use Instagram to talk to my friends. I I use it to talk to my friends. So I don't use it for customer service. I have a customer service email that is hello@quickcommuting.com. If you have a question, that is where you send it. But if you have, but I do this once a month so that I get you get my attention and you can ask me questions. So this is the best way to ask me questions. My DMs are trash. Maybe I can hire somebody to read my DMs. Somebody asked me what was my first remote role. My friend Hannah's our special guest, by the way. My first remote role was in 2008. I did customer service for Toys R Us part-time. I needed a part-time job. My daughter was like 2 or 3 years old and I wanted to make a little extra money. And I was like, well, if I go work somewhere, I'm gonna have to pay somebody to watch her. And that's gonna like just nullify the money that I make, right? And then I'm gonna be missing out on time with her. And so I ended up, this telemarketing company that I used to work for had started doing customer service. And they started doing customer service remotely. It was called West. If you guys remember West Telecommunications, if anybody remembers them, and they had a contract with Toys R Us. And so they were hiring holiday help to help people go through the big toy catalog, if you remember that, and manage their orders. And so that was my first remote job back in 2008. Someone asked, how can we secure remote from anywhere roles? Well, so a couple of things you can do is, one, make sure that you're understanding the job description and identifying whether or not this company is allowing you to work outside of the US. And I don't want you guys to be deterred when you see a location, when you see remote US. That doesn't always mean that you can't work from anywhere, okay? A lot of times in these ATSs, they are required to put in a country, right? So that is a required field that they have to fill out in their systems. And so when you're having the conversation with recruiters, you can always ask them, do you guys allow people to work outside of the US? The second thing I'd say is focus on remote first companies. Again, the course that I provide has a list of 250 remote first companies, and a lot of them have global workforces that do not, and they don't care where you work from. The third thing I say is freelancing, and my friend Hannah is going to talk about this in just a moment. Freelancing gives you a different level of freedom because you are working for yourself, right? And you are just getting clients, and you get to decide all kinds of things. You get to decide where you work from, how often you work, how many people you work for, and things like that. So that's something else you can do. And then one more thing I want to call out about this. So when you say work from anywhere, some people want to move abroad and some people just want to be able to go places, right? So my company would probably not let me move abroad. They might let me move to the UK because we have an office there. But if I wanted to move to Mexico, they wouldn't be down with that because they don't have the right things in place to manage that. Meaning I would have to pay taxes in another country. My insurance wouldn't be valid anymore, things like that. But they wouldn't mind if I go work in Mexico for a month or two, right? So keep in mind what your goals are. Do you want to just be able to go places for a month or two, which is what I want to do. I don't necessarily want to move abroad right now. Like my daughter still lives here. I want to just kind of bounce around and come back. I still want residence in the US. And so I don't necessarily need to work for a company that wants me to, that won't let me live abroad. It doesn't matter. Like I don't need to work for a company to move abroad. I just need my company to allow me to leave for a month or two at a time. All right. So consider that as well. I hope that answered your question. Oh, y'all got the questions coming in. Yes. I love it. I'm a data analyst and I'm having extreme difficulty finding a job. How can your program help? Well, it depends, right? Because I'm having extreme difficulty is very vague. I don't know what you're having difficulty in, but here's what I tell people. My program or the course actually walks you through the 4 phases. So there's phases of finding jobs, right? There's where to find the jobs, where they at, where the jobs at, where do I find it? There's what do you do before you apply? Because applying, there's an art to it. It's not just clicking that button, right? There's some things that you should be doing before you go and apply for jobs. And so the course walks you through those things. And then, of course, there is the whole part of interviewing and negotiating. So those are the things that the course walks you through. And there's, I think, 30 videos in there and multiple guides that walk you through all this stuff. But here's the advice that I'm going to give you for free. And again, you can join the community for free as well. And just, these are the types of questions. The thing that I love about the community is that it's a community, right? A lot of times you're going through this by yourself in isolation. And job searching sucks. Y'all will hear me say this on a regular basis. Looking for jobs freaking sucks. It's not fun. It's demoralizing. It's frustrating. People ghost you. You put your resume into a black hole, yada, yada, yada. It's not fun. And so I created this community so that you don't have to go through that by yourself, right? And so when you bump up these questions against somebody else and you hear people say, oh yeah, it's taken me a long time too. Or yeah, I applied for this company and I'm not hearing back from them. Then you start to feel like, oh, it's not just me, right? And you can get that encouragement and support in the community. So I'd say join the community if you don't do anything else. But the advice I'm going to give you for free is two things. One, patience. I hear a lot of people say, I'm having difficulty and it's taking a long time. And then I say, well, how long have you been like seriously applying for jobs? And they'll say something like 2 weeks. Baby. Baby. On average, it takes 3 to 6 months to land a job. I know nobody wants to hear that. That's a long time. But on average, and that's average, that means it can take longer. I've seen it happen quicker. I've seen people get jobs in 2 weeks. It's happened. But on average, 3 to 6 months. So you are going to have to employ some patience. You need to be patient. And every once in a while, feel free to take a break. The second thing I'm going to say is, I need you to be honest with yourself. Are you really applying for jobs on a regular basis? I feel like I'm applying for a lot of jobs, but is that like 3 a week? Or is that like 10 or 15 a week, right? So just be honest with yourself about how much you're putting yourself out there. And then the last thing I would say is figure out where your roadblocks are. Okay. So if you're applying for a lot of jobs, and for me, I think a lot would be a good number is like 15 a week, 10 to 15 a week. If you're applying for a lot of jobs and you're not getting any interviews, you're not getting called for interviews, then there's something up with your application, right? So maybe you need someone to look at your resume, right? Maybe you need to rethink how you're applying. Maybe you need to network more, right? Maybe you need to be tapping onto your network to see if you can get your foot in the door of places. If you're applying and you're getting interviews and you're not making it past the interview, well, maybe you need some interview coaching. That is in the course, right? So there is interview coaching, and there's an interview guide and workbook and all that stuff in the course. And there's even a mock interview. So one of my friends is an interview coach. She interviewed me for my job. And I was legit kind of nervous, and you could see it in the mock interview. And so maybe you need help getting through the interview process, right? So you got to figure out like, where am I getting stuck, and address that bottleneck. Okay. I hope that's helpful. I'm going to answer one more question, and then I'm going to bring my friend Hannah up so she can share some information with you. Advice for someone trying to break into project management: go do it. Go do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Listen, I love project management. I'm going to tell you why. The barrier to entry is low. Everybody pretty much does project management. I'm going to tell you something. Every one of you, I'm talking to you, whoever is looking at me, every one of you has a component of project management in your job. And a lot of people get scared of trying to apply for project management jobs because they've never had the title. Just because you didn't have the title does not mean you did not do the work. Most of you do project management work. Most of you, if you run an event, that event is a project. If you are a teacher, your curriculum is a project. You have stakeholders, your students, the parents, the staff and administration. Those are all stakeholders that you have to manage. You have to give status reports and status updates. All of you are project managers, I'm telling you. So if you want to break into project management, you need to start talking about yourself as a project manager and the type of work that you've been doing that relates to project management. I do have a video here on YouTube about how I transitioned into project management, but I'd say just go ahead and start updating your LinkedIn and updating your resume to talk about the work that you've done that relates to project management, and start applying for those jobs. And Coursera has a project management course. I want to be clear, that is not the project management certification. The PMP, there's only one organization that in the US that provides an official project management certification, and that is called the PMI, Project Management Institute. They offer the PMP. They offer the CAPM. I don't think the CAPM is worth it. I'm gonna tell y'all. I don't think it's worth it. I think it's pointless. I've literally never seen a job posting asking for a CAPM, not once, not ever. So I'd say the Coursera course, I've heard really good things about it. I am actually working on getting someone from Coursera to come and talk to our community about their courses, and specifically that project management course. It's like $34.99 a month. I think you can get it done in 6 months. So I don't think you have to do it. I am suggesting that it is a great way to boost your confidence about project management. What I find that trips people up with moving into project management more than anything is the confidence. And so if you take that and you spend time understanding the lingo and the work that project managers do and all of that, I think they teach you. So they teach you all that, and they also teach you how to do interviews and stuff. And so I think it would be great. It goes a long way to give you the confidence that you have what it takes to be a project manager. But I'm already telling you do, because all y'all do some form of project management. Yup. All right, so I'm gonna pop in my homegirl. I can't call you that. You're not from here. I'm gonna pop in my friend because I want her to share with you some of the work that she's done. One of the very first questions was, how do I get a job working from anywhere? And what I said was, freelance, friend. And so Hannah is great at teaching people how to do that. Come through, Hannah. Hey, girl. What's up? You're on mute.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. So let me tell y'all real quick. Hannah and I met in Barcelona, back in 2018.
16.
It could have been 16. Was it?
17.
Yeah, it was 17. It had to be right after I got back from my trip abroad. Mm-hmm. So we met in 2017, and been cool ever since. Instant friends.
Yeah.
And hadn't seen each other forever. And we just saw each other last weekend for the first time since 2016. And it was so great to see you in person. It really was. It's crazy because we spend so much time doing this together.
I know.
It feels like we hang out all the time.
It's weird like that, isn't it? When you meet friends.
Right. Like my internet friends feel like real friends because we talk so often. But Hannah, tell the community who you are, and what you've been doing over the last several years.
All right. So I am a virtual assistant coach. Before that, I'll explain what a virtual assistant is in a moment. Before that, I was a virtual assistant myself for a good few years. Before that, I worked on farms, I worked in bars. So I had no online experience before I started working as a freelancer. So I use the term virtual assistant as a sort of umbrella term for freelancing. I know you're going to call me out on that, so I'm trying to bring that up. So I
always do.
Yeah, if you assist people virtually, I could consider that a virtual assistant, but it's also all kinds of freelancers, copywriters, web designers, writers, project managers, even all this kind of stuff done in a freelance capacity. So that's what I'm now teaching other people to do. So I'm helping people figure out what their existing skills are, how they can bring them online and offer them as a service, generally in a self-employed manner, so that they have that sort of full remote experience. So that's what I've been doing since 2000. Well, I've been in the VA space 10 years. I've been training for 7 years, and I've trained 30,000 people up to date. And that's where we are today.
Excellent. So something that you just said is important that I want to call out, because a lot of people, and let me know in the comments if this is you, like drop a me in the comments if this applies to you. A lot of people feel like they can't get remote work because they feel like they don't have skills or they don't have a degree, right? Like I don't have skills, I don't have enough experience, or I don't have a degree, or I'm not technical. And what you just said was you was working on a farm.
Even had the overalls.
You were working on a farm. Hannah, is it okay if I ask if you went to college?
I didn't go to college, no.
So no degree.
No.
And she went from, I'm guessing, milking cows.
No. It was all like vegetables.
Picking veggies,
yep.
Picking vegetables,
yep.
To working remotely, right? And so I have to call this out because people come here all the time and they say, well, I don't have any skills. And I'm like, the fact that you are here.
Yes.
Right? Commenting on a video lets me know that you have skills. Like, don't you know people pay folks to do that? People literally get paid to comment on Instagram and YouTube and all kinds of stuff. Like, that's a real thing. And so I want folks to know that there are options out there for you. Like, you don't necessarily have to go back to school unless that's just something you want to do. Right? So the other thing that I love about what you do is how flexible it is, right? And so when I say flexible, I mean like you can do it from anywhere. You can do it anytime. What days a week do you work, Hannah?
When I feel like it.
Oh, oh, that girl said when she feel like it. I'm so jealous. I'm so jealous.
I mean, like, if I was to schedule like my perfect week, it changes obviously because I'm traveling a lot, but I will do like maybe a couple of hours in the morning, and then I'll take like a long lunch, hang out with my dog, explore the location I'm in, and then maybe do like another hour or two in the evening, and then I'm good. But I work well in the evening, so I have that flexibility to work in the evenings. That's when I come alive. That's when I'm creative. So I could do that with this work. So that's one of the benefits that I love the most.
When are you guys creative? Let me know in the comments. When are you creative? No, this is important though, because I'm a morning person. I wake up early, right? And the world and business is built around people like me, right? Yes. If you get a job, if you get a remote job, baby, you're going to have to probably be up at 8, 9 o'clock, ready for a meeting, right? Ready to log in. People want to see that green dot on your Teams, ready to log in. And the really great thing about what you do is it's great for people who, aren't necessarily, don't fit the mold, right? If you're most creative in the evening, my British accent, my UK accent is so good. If you're best in the evening, wouldn't it be great to have your work around you versus you having to work around other people? So quite a few people said they're best in the evening. My daughter is too. Like, getting up in the morning is a task and a half. Like, that's also a job.
Like, being here today, this is early for me. This is early for me.
This is early? It's 11:20. Wait, what time is it for you?
I'm in the same time zone as you right now.
Are you?
Yeah.
11 is early. Wow.
I'm like, like maybe 12:01. That's when I'm surprised I'm here talking. So.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you stepping outside of your norm. Real quick though, I do think it's important that everybody knows when their most productive times are. I really do. Listen, if you don't, I want you to start paying attention over the next week. When am I firing? Like, when am I at my best? Like, when am I able to answer questions, solve problems, get stuff done? For me, it's between like 6 and 11 in the morning. And then again, like around, I don't know, 8 to midnight if I'm up. If I'm up. But 3 o'clock, child, I can't do nothing. I can barely write my name right. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I need to sleep. What about you? What's yours?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, like, I sleep till like now, and then I will. Everyone says that they have like morning routines. My morning routine is like 4 hours of doing nothing.
Slow mornings.
Yeah, very, very slow. And then maybe I'll do like an hour or two. And then my lunch is kind of around 4 or 5-ish. And then I will work like late into the night, like 2, 3, 4 a.m. That's kind of my, that's like in the middle of the night for me. It's like knowing everyone else is asleep. I can just focus. There's no distractions. Like, I can't do co-working spaces either. Like, I need like a bubble to work. So like nighttime is my time to work.
I like it. I mean, I think it's really, really cool that A, you know that about yourself, but B, you work in such a way that the work you do or the type of work that you do, you can work around your own schedule and when it works best for you. And you're not being forced to be at a desk on a call at 9 o'clock in the morning, unless you just kind of agree to hang out with me or something. So could you do me a favor, Hannah? We talked about, you and I always debate this term, virtual assistant versus freelancer. Can you share some of the examples of things that some of the people that you've helped become virtual assistants do? Because the only reason why I always call it out is because I know that a lot of people hear virtual assistant and they think admin assistant, right? And you mean it literally, like, I am helping people in a virtual environment, right? How many of you guys hear virtual assistant and you all automatically think administrative assistant? I want you to know that ain't it. That ain't it. It's a whole lot of things. Can you give us some examples of things you've helped people do?
Yeah. So just to preface this all, I always say there's 3 buckets. So there's like technical work, creative work, and administrative work. And you can kind of like hop between those and there's going to be crossovers. But generally, like, a VA will fall more heavily into one of them. So it could be administrative work. Can look like, I'm going to say it because you always laugh, diary management or calendar management.
Managing people's diaries. Hey, be you. I like you so much, Hannah. Be you.
Diary. It can also be inbox. Sorry, I said that inbox management, calendar management. That can be invoicing, bookkeeping, all kinds of stuff in the admin realm. Then you've got creative. So creative could be web design. It could be graphic design. It could be creating ebooks for people's freebies. It could be creating logos, that kind of thing. Then you've got creative, which is also, wait, did I just do tech or creative? I did creative. Tech, right?
Yeah, you did creative already.
Creative. Technical would be like, maybe editing videos, which is also creative, right? Like there's a crossover.
Yeah.
You've got podcasts, you've got, coding, all that kind of stuff.
Automation, people that like set up automated processes for you. Like, ooh, Jesus, I would love that person.
Automations. A really, really hot one right now is podcast management. That one's a big one.
Yeah.
Social media management.
Social media management, community management.
Yep. Like
community management is a big one. So now that you're mentioning these, hopefully you guys, your eyes are open, right? Virtual assistant, it's pretty unlimited. Like you could probably create your own lane. Didn't you have somebody who's a virtual assistant who like creates music?
Yes, Alicia, she's in the comments here. She does audio visual branding for people, which is, I just think is what a cool niche. Like
when you think about it, okay, so audio branding, you know how everybody knows that T-Mobile ring, right? Like that's audio branding. That is and the Netflix sound.
Yep, exactly.
That is a Netflix brand. Like you think brand, you think colors and logo. Sounds can be part of the brand too, right? I think it's really cool.
Yeah, especially if you're like a podcast host or something, she'll do like the intro, the outro, all the branding for it. It's super cool. Websites, all of it. So it's like branding overhaul, but that focus on the audio visual, which is like, you don't think about that kind of stuff, but it exists and there's people out there doing it.
Yeah.
What else is there? What are really cool ones we got?
I got questions for the people that are watching while Hannah's thinking about hers. What are skills that you have that you think somebody would pay you for? Drop them in the comments. What are some skills that you could do as a freelancer that you think somebody would pay you for? And while people do that, Hannah, real quick, Hannah has a 5-day challenge, a 5-day free VA challenge that's starting on October 23rd, where she helps you figure out what your skills are that you can get paid for, how much to get paid, and all this stuff. But the first thing I want to do is, Hannah, how do you help people find the skills?
So we go through like a bunch of exercises, a little bit of self-coaching, because I think, like you said at the beginning, a lot of people think they don't have skills. So what we're doing is getting you to really look at your history, not just your work history, but your personal history, like your interests, your values, and placing all of that at the center to kind of pull out where those sort of existing skills are. And then we have a sheet that you can sort of compare by and be like, oh, I do have skills. And then putting that together to like create a service for somebody. So I think one of the big focuses we have is that if you're going to create a VA business, because that's what it is, most of the time it's a business, right? There's no point creating a business of your own unless it's coming from a place where you're going to be interested in it, your values are in it. Like if you're just going to do it because you want to serve anybody doing anything just to get the money, you're going to be miserable with it. That's the truth. Yeah. So one of the things we get you to really look at is not just your experience, but those value systems, your interests, because let's say like you're really into yoga, like you can support online yoga studios, right? You're going to have a network already. You're going to speak their lingo, about all the Kundalini or whatever the language is. Speak that, and you're going to get hired over some general VA who can't speak that language, right? Yeah. So it's not just the skills, it's also the experience and the interest. So we call it in the day one of the challenge, we kind of bring all that together in a very structured way. I'm making it sound messy right now. And then you'll, at the end of that, kind of have like a good idea of what you can get started with what you already have.
I love that. I'm going to tell y'all some of the things I've paid VAs to do. I have paid VAs to do research. I've paid VAs to set up a customer service inbox thing. So like there's these free apps. I love dropping this tip. I feel like this is a hot tip. Like people missing out. You could be a virtual assistant and say, I'm going to help small businesses build their customer service, right? So there's a free app called Freshdesk, Freshdesk. You go learn that and then go out and get small businesses and help them set up. It's a ticketing system, basically, and it makes small businesses look more official. So when someone sends them an email, it goes into a ticketing system and they automatically get an email, right? So I hire somebody to set that up and manage it. They also have texting and chat customer service. So you go do that. I've paid people to write scripts for me. I've paid people to do voiceovers. I feel like I want to pay Hannah to do a voiceover because I really like her accent. I have paid people to, what is it called? Transcribe things. I've paid people to do project management. I've paid people to do automations. I paid somebody to like build a financial model for trips.
That's cool.
Yeah. So like my daughter got paid to literally copy and paste the code from images online for a developer.
Wow.
Yeah. And he paid her like $75 for 2 hours of work to do that.
Awesome.
Right?
Just back to what you were saying about Freshdesk as well. Like that's another thing. If you are a VA and you're working in a particular field, even if it's like graphic design, like you can go and get certified by a lot of the tools that you use. So like you can get a Canva certification. That's going to like up level you so much, especially if somebody wants to hire specifically a graphic designer, or if you want to do bookkeeping, you can go get certified in QuickBooks, that kind of thing.
Yep.
It's going to elevate your position in that area as well.
I love it. I mean, the possibilities are truly endless, y'all. And all of these apps that people use, there's so many people who don't want to learn how to do it. They just don't want to. There's people that will pay you to manage their MailChimp account because they don't want to figure that out. So, okay. So I hope that what we've done is open your eyes to the fact that virtual assistant world is wide, broad, wild. I mean, there's just so much you can do, and you own it. You own what you do. You own when you do it. You own how many people you do it for. And let's get to the money. You own how much you make too, right? Because that is the thing that people always wonder, right? How much do virtual assistants make? How many of you drop a note, drop a yes in the comments if a lot of you assume virtual assistants don't make a lot of money?
Interesting.
I'm curious to see what they say. Do y'all assume virtual assistants don't make a lot of money? I feel like some people that I talk to about being a virtual assistant, they're like, oh, but I'd be on Fiverr competing with people that make $5 an hour, $3 an hour, $4 an hour, right?
If you choose to do that, you can do that.
Yeah, like if you want to.
I recommend
it. So yeah, somebody said I assume that. So let's discuss this, Hannah. How much do VAs make? And I know it's a range. I know your answer is a range, but they don't know that. So let's talk about how much VAs can make, on average make, all that.
So I'll do it like by an hourly thing, and then I'll tell you kind of like what people in our community are making on a monthly basis as well. So if you were just approaching this from the beginning and you're completely entry level, maybe you got a few of the more sort of like lower level, entry level skills that you can level up from, anywhere between $15, $25 an hour is appropriate for that. And then you've got more intermediate skills. So that could be like 25 up to even like $45 an hour. And then you've got sort of more advanced skills that could be like web development, SEO, that kind of thing. That could be like sort of 45 upwards to like 150 is appropriate these days. So on a monthly basis,
150.
So I'll give you an example. We had a girl in our community who started doing community management in a Facebook group. Then she started learning Facebook ads on the job, got into that, started doing more social media management at large, ads, all that stuff. She's now charging she actually charged, I think, $350 an hour for consulting for ads, but she charges $150 hour standard for her like ads, like work when she's working with a client, like ongoing. So from commenting in a Facebook group to an ads consultant, $350 an hour.
We just talked about this, right? People say, I don't have skills. You are commenting. and when I tell you, people literally pay folks to come into their communities and comment. Here's why. Let me tell you why. Because y'all think I just be saying stuff sometimes. And I need you to know that I'm not. I promise you. Here's why. In Facebook, one of the things that Facebook has done is made it more difficult for people who own the group, the admins of the group, to have their content shown to everybody in the group, because Facebook wants us as community owners to pay for that access, even though we built the community. Even though it's a community we built and we're bringing people to your app, Facebook is like, oh, cool. Well, you want to sell people stuff. We know that this is how you've gotten away around the ads. So we're gonna limit your information. So things that I post in Wandering Moms, in my Wandering Moms community, a lot of the Wandering Moms don't see. And so one of the things that community members will do is community managers or owners, I should say, will do is they'll hire community managers and say, hey, I'd like for you to start posting in the community, right? I want you to make sure engagement stays up, right? I want you to make sure people see certain things, because like Shayla, if I brought you into Wandering Moms and you posted the same thing I posted, more people would likely see your post. And so I might pay you to do that. Or Tanya Brooks, I might pay you just to bring in interesting conversations so that there's engagement in the community, right? And so that's one way to be a virtual assistant. But what Hannah said is somebody literally was doing that and then decided to learn how to do ads to level up and is now getting paid $350 an hour. What?
And that's,
I don't know if y'all heard, but I heard it.
the upward trajectory is just like, it's pretty unlimited in terms of where you want to go. I'm not gonna say unlimited, because you don't make millions and millions of dollars. That's not right. But there's a lot of directions you could take this in. There's loads of ways that you can package up your knowledge as you go into like little services or little products even. Myself being one of those people that did that. I have services and products now. So I was a VA. Now I'm teaching a course because I got to a level where I have knowledge to share, right? And that's the same for VAs. You'll have knowledge to share that you can package up and sell also in different capacities. Maybe you want to sell like a bundle of printables or graphic design templates, that kind of thing. There's so many things you can do with it.
Yep. I have a success story too that I want to share. My VA, I had a VA who does graphic design. When I met her, she was charging, I think like $4 an hour, but she lives in the Philippines. She was charging, I think $4 or $5 an hour. She lived in the Philippines. My current admin assistant took her course 2 days ago. She started doing a course on Canva because she's so good at it now. She's one of the few Canva certified people in the world.
Right.
And so she hosted a course, and now she makes extra money hosting courses. So I bought the course for my admin assistant. And she told me that she was making $5 an hour when she started. She's now making $40 an hour.
Nice.
Now that's a lot of money that's a good, I just did the math on that. That's $83,000 a year. Wow. That's good money for anybody in the US. But in the Philippines, my girl is making good money, right? And so like, y'all don't sleep on the fact that there is earning opportunity, earning potential here as well. Okay, so we only have a few more minutes because I want to get to the other questions that people were asking me before I brought you on here. And if you guys have questions for Hannah, please ask them. Hannah, can you take them through the 5-day virtual assistant challenge?
Sure. So day one, we kind of talked about already. We're going to sort of explore what your existing skills are, all that kind of stuff. Put that together into something you can start offering right away. I want to stress, though, that people get scared on day one because they're like, is that the only thing I could do? No, but it's something you can start with, and getting started is better than just staying stagnant. So we get you started. Then day two, we're going to start looking at money, which is just like an extension of what we're talking about today. So we actually give you this nifty little calculator where you can plug in your existing expenses today so that you can maintain the lifestyle you have now and go from there. So you get to figure out what your base rate would be to support you as you are right now. And then kind of compare that with industry averages. Yes, go ahead.
No, finish your statement. I'm waiting for you to finish the statement. Compare with industry averages. Listen, how many of y'all were sitting here like, but how would I know what to charge? But how would I know what to charge people? Like, you guys are talking about how much VAs make, but like, how would I know what to charge people? I think that's a huge blocker for people, Hannah. And I love that you literally lay it out like, well, here's your baseline. How much do you need to take care of yourself? Right?
Yep.
At the very least, you need to make that.
Yes. And then I think it's good because then people go, well, I need that, but here's where I am on that scale. Maybe I come short of that, or maybe I'm just over that. I can charge more. And if they're falling short of that, I'm always saying that, like, as a VA, you're also paying for the experience of people working with you. Like, up your client experience, like make it an exceptional VIP experience, because that's where the money is as well. So there's other ways to bring you to that level if you're still falling short of that. So we talk about that on day two. Day three, we go into some sort of mindset-y stuff. What do we do on day three? I'm confused. What do you think? Day three, we do lifestyle design, right? That's it. Because when you're a VA, you get to live from anywhere, work from anywhere, create a lifestyle, work at the time, all the stuff we talked about today. And we get you to help you start like thinking ahead of what that might look like. And we do have like a fun little mindset. I hate the word mindset, but that's what it is. It's mindset. Thing that we do. It's more of like a little bonus that I don't want to talk about. She
always keeps these little secrets, like these little surprises that are in the 5-day challenge, which I feel like I want somebody to slide in my DMs and tell me what they are.
4 is also a bit of a secret, but the reason it's a secret is because I kind of tailor it to each group as well. Like each group has its own energy, and I'm like trying to meet people where they're at, so it changes a little bit. But overall, it's the same. Day 4, we get you to do a task that I can't tell you what it is, but we take everything we learned and we put it into action in the real world. So this is one of the things I'm big on. It's like taking actions that move the needle. There's no point in this if you're not going to take action on it. I hate things where it's like you consume content, but then you're not doing anything with it. So we're getting you to do something with it on Thursday. That will get you real world results. Some people land a job in these first 5 days with no experience. Like,
can you say that again?
People land jobs with no experience taking this challenge. This is 7 years in the making. I've put together all the things that I know will help you get over those initial roadblocks so you can have success quick. Yeah. That's what it's about.
How many people have you helped become virtual assistants and make money?
Over 30,000.
Over 30,000. 7 years, 30,000 people. Y'all, I would say it, receipts. Like, and quite a few of those people are on this chat as well, because her community supports the hell out of her. I'm gonna tell you something, Hannah. You have such a supportive community. And what that means for you all is when you join the challenge, you also have access to that supportive community too, right?
And
because
one thing I'll say is with the support group, it doesn't matter if there's 100 people in there or 2,000 people in there. We make sure every single person gets personal feedback. This it's the whole team. We're in there hands-on, making sure you get support. So if you want a slice of what it looks like to work with me, that is it. And you're also going to get that personalized feedback to take with you. Whether you decide to work with me further or not, you get that personalized feedback. You have something you can take from that that's going to help you in your career.
Yeah, I love this. Here's what I got to say. And Hannah, I hope you don't mind me saying this, but I like to keep it real, right? It's a 5-day challenge. And we all know that typically a free challenge at the end of it, there's an offer, right? So Hannah has put a lot of work into putting this 5-day challenge together. And so I don't think there's anything wrong with making an offer and asking for a sale, right? So that will happen at the end. But what I always say is it's completely up to you if you want to take her up on that offer, right? I think at the very least, you got to go to the 5-day challenge so that she can give you the exposure that you want. And like she said, plenty of people actually land their first client during the 5-day challenge, right? Yes. Which I think is incredible because, and here's why I want to point this out, right? I feel like people look at stuff like this and they think, oh, they just want to make money. Here's the thing. If she just wanted to make money, she wouldn't have to spend 5 days giving you the game. One thing I love about Hannah is she is passionate about giving people this level of freedom. And when I say passionate, like she's been doing this for 7 years. She just told you that people get clients in that first 5 days. And I've literally seen her go ham on LinkedIn and Facebook about pay transparency and pay equity for people all over the world and for VAs all over the world. I've literally seen her go ham about that. And the fourth thing is in her community, she a lot of times will help connect VAs with clients. So if you're worried about where am I going to get clients? A, she helps you learn how to do that too. But B, she herself has connected people, VAs, with potential clients as well, right?
Yeah. Thank you for all the kind words. I'm just like blushing.
You're welcome. But no, I'm serious. Like I think that's important to note. I've hired a few of your VAs. The person who did both of my websites was somebody that I got through you. And so I think beyond the course, I think the connection, the community, the access to you and your team, and just the passion that you have for people being able to design their lives, I think all of that is well worth it. Well worth it.
I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
Somebody said, did I understand you to say whether you work for me? She said whether you work with me or not. And by that, she meant like in a coaching perspective. Charlene. That's what she meant.
I'm confused.
Yeah, so you said whether you work with me or not, and she was asking, did you say for me, or are you hiring VAs? That's not what she's saying. She said whether you work with me in a coaching capacity. Yeah. So here's a question for you: what hours?
Yeah, so we run Monday through Friday. It is designed in a flexible way. So there's only 2 live sessions on the Wednesday and the Friday. Both of them are recorded, but other than that, it's at your own convenience, at your own pace. The content drops at 8 a.m. New York time every day. You then decide what time you want to jump in. It takes about an hour a day for you to do that.
Excellent. And then I just want to, somebody said they love the idea of community management and engagement. Phil says that's a really good one. I'm going to tell you something. I want to share this one though, because when I say her crew shows up for her, her crew shows up passionate and generous with the level of information she supports and offers for free. Not joking. Like that's real. I've seen it for the past several years, guys. So if you guys have any other questions, wait, I gotta pop that one up. That's a good one. And I've heard that. I've run into people. I actually met someone at No Madness that has taken her challenge. At No Madness Fest over the weekend, who has taken her challenge, and she had nothing. Like, she was literally gushing and turning red and just so excited while she was talking about your challenge. Because, you know, Hannah, I think we love to talk about the idea of making money and all of that, and being able to travel and all of that. But every time we do this, the word that pops out to me is empowerment. You give people empowerment, right? So you are empowering people to understand who they are and the skills they have and the worth that they have, right? Because a lot of people just think they don't have the skills. Like, I'm not going to be able to do things. So you're opening their eyes to the skills they have. Yeah. And then people are like, oh, well, I can't charge a lot of money, or I don't know what to charge. And you empower people to figure that out and push people to go out there and take action on it. And so I think beyond the idea of making good money and being able to work from anywhere, I think what you are giving people is empowerment and the belief in themselves and what they can do. And I think that's incredible.
I mean, that's exactly what you do too. So obviously we see that in each other.
Birds of a feather. Thank you, Hannah. I appreciate you coming by. Guys, I'm going to drop if you're watching the replay, the link to Hannah's 5-day challenge will be in the description box. If you are in the Quick Commuting Academy, she is also going to be hosting a session. I don't remember what day it is. Let me go look at the calendar.
17th.
The 17th. She's going to be hosting a session in the Quick Commuting Academy on the 17th. It's open to the public, so anybody can join that. And in that session, she's going to go much deeper, and she won't have me interrupting and asking all these questions. So she's going to go deeper into the world of virtual assistant and into her challenge as well. Thank you, Hannah. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. If anyone has questions, I'll stick around in the comments as well.
Yeah, she's so much better than me about responding to the comments. I have a lot to learn from you, Hannah. Thank you. Thank you. All right, I'm gonna go back to some of the questions. So I got some scrolling up to do because you guys asked me some questions before Hannah came on that I want to make sure I try to answer. Okay. I think I'm there. Morning question: how to transfer. Okay, here we are. Do you have a list of companies that hire remote workers? Yeah, the course that I mentioned does have a list of 100 places to find remote work. And that list is broken down into buckets. Some of them are remote job boards. There are some international remote job boards. There's a section on nonprofits. There's a section on remote first companies. There's a section on companies that just hire people remotely. Yeah, so there's a list of 100, and then there's another list in that course of 250 remote first companies. So yes, the answer to your question is yes. Am I planning another year-long around the world trip? Girl, no. No, that was a lot. I am, however, planning long-term trips for next year that are more like 30 days at a time. 30 days at a time. I may do another year-long trip in the future, but right now I just focus on 2 weeks to 30 days at a time. So stay tuned for that. This is news for somebody that's into project management. Somebody said they're taking a project management for beginners course and it's a bit boring. True. I'm willing to bet it is. Someone said, how do I transfer my Mac desktop support to remote skills? I'm tired of being on my knees to set up computers and cables. That's a good point. So when you say desktop support, so you're saying that you do support from a hardware perspective. I'd say if you want to stick into support, if you want to stay in this, support realm, then lean into the fact that you've done support work and you've done customer service work, right? So support is really about if you lean into the things that are transferable, right? The actual physical work of fixing a computer is not transferable to the remote work world, but the soft skills that are transferable are, problem solving, customer service, troubleshooting, all of those things. So lean into that from a support perspective and apply for, remote support jobs, right? The other thing that you could do is consider, if this is a field you want to stay in, you could also consider taking some courses on tech support or learning a specific tool or software. So for instance, Zapier, or I think we mentioned Freshdesk, or any software that people are using. If you could learn that software and get certified, you can always apply to be in tech support for one of those softwares. But there's a lot of soft skills related to what you do that transfer, whether it's remote or physical, right? So lean into that. I hope that's helpful. Would your remote work bundle be relevant for non-US citizens? It's relevant for anybody. It's the same information. No matter where you live, these are the things that you should do. And like I mentioned, there's a list of 250 remote first companies in there that don't necessarily care where you work from. Is a PMP required to transition into project management? No, it is not. A PMP is a nice to have for a lot of companies. Most companies have it in their preferred qualifications. I honestly feel like you can't get the PMP until you've worked as a project manager anyway. And so I typically suggest that you wait until you get with a company that is willing to pay for it. And that way you don't have to pay for it yourself. The person I was talking to about data analyst said something else, and I wanted to address that. I feel like I saw another comment from her. Oh, here it is. I'm new to the analyst and everybody wants experience. I'm going to tell you something, friend. Unless they specifically told you that, I don't believe you. I feel like I see this as an example of women looking at requirements at the job posting and thinking that they've got to meet every single requirement or every single thing. That list is a wish list. They don't necessarily need you to meet every single one of those requirements for you to get the job, okay? So if you meet 80% of the requirements, the things listed on the job posting, go ahead and apply. I have a video talking about why you should apply anyway. And one of the things that I tell you is that when hiring managers are looking to hire multiple people for roles, a lot of times they need to maximize their budgets. So if I've got $1 million to hire some analysts, I'm not going to just hire the analysts that meet all of the qualifications on my job posting, because I'm going to run out of money faster that way. Maybe I'm only going to be able to hire 6 people. But if I say I'm going to hire 2 or 3 people, 2 people that are that meet all the requirements, I'm going to hire maybe a few people that meet most of the requirements, and then I'm going to hire a couple of entry-level people. That way now, maybe I can hire, instead of only being able to hire 6, maybe I can now hire 9 people, because I'm maximizing my budget. Because now I know if they're entry level, I know that they're not going to come at the premium that they would if they were meeting everything. The other thing I like to tell people is that hiring managers are also making decisions about their long-term goals. And if I only hire people that meet all of the qualifications, those people are going to want promotions really soon. And so I need to hire some people that are at the entry level, right? I need to hire some people that are at the more early stage in their career, so that I can develop those people, and they will likely be in the role longer. If they meet all the qualifications, they're likely going to be looking to be promoted or go do something else very, very soon. And so I want you guys to stop disqualifying yourself from roles. Just because you see they have a certain amount of experience on the job posting, let them tell you no. You stop being the one to tell you no. You let them tell you no, okay? And go watch that video. It's a video on my YouTube. It's called Why You Should Apply Anyway, okay? And here's what I love. I've run across a few companies that actually say that in their job posting. GitLab says it, and another company I saw the other day says it in the job posting. It says, women tend to not apply unless they meet all the requirements. We encourage you to still apply, okay? Let's see. How do we get into the community? If you go to quitcommuting.com, there's a button at the top that says community. Just click on that. And there will be a link to get in there. Let's see here. Someone asked, what tools and advice do you have to help someone actively do a career switch? There's a lot of resources in the community about this. I'm going to give you one tip. Let me give you 2 tips. Tip 1, join the community, because that is the topic that we are discussing this month. All of our programming in the community is around career transitions. So join the community if you're not already in there, and then come to the events or go watch the replays of some events we've had. One thing I tell people to do is, a lot of times your struggle is, I don't know how to talk about myself in a career that I haven't been in. So what I want you to do is build an ideal profile. I want you to go find 3 to 5 positions, 3 to 5 job postings for the career that you want, right? And then I want you to go through those 3 to 5 job postings, and I want you to make 2 lists from that. One list, I want you to get all of the requirements, responsibilities, activities, and things like that that you actually do have in your background that they list in those job postings. All right. So if they say, we want someone who has been client facing. If you've been client facing, I want you to put that in the list, right? If they say we want someone that has managed budgets, I want you to put that in the list. And then I want you to make a list of the things that you don't have. So now you have 2 lists. You have the I meet these requirements and roles and responsibilities, and I don't. All right. And so now that first list, the I meet list, is going to do 2 things. One, it's going to give you some assurance that you can do this job, right? It's going to prove to you that you do have what it takes to do this job. Because when you looked at the job posting, you were like, project manager, I've never done this before. I can't apply for these jobs. But then as you go through it and you're like, oh, you need to be able to deal with stakeholders. I'm a teacher. I deal with stakeholders all the time. I have students, parents, and administrators. Those are my stakeholders. Wow, I do that, right? You need to be able to manage a budget. Teachers have budgets. They get a budget for their classroom. This is what they have to use. Boom, I do that. And so as you go through that list, you start to realize, oh, wait, I have been doing this stuff. I can do this stuff. I am qualified to do these things. So it's going to build up your efficacy. The second thing it does is it gives you the language that you need to put in your resume, in your LinkedIn, to speak to those roles. Okay, so it does those 2 things. You start to use that to build your template resume. Now, your I don't have it list is not your I'm not good enough list. That list becomes your development plan. And I want you to do 2 things with that list. I want you to figure out how you can go get those things. Is it, I need to take the initiative and volunteer to do something at work to get this experience? Is it, I need to take a class or get on YouTube University or something like that, or play around with a free tool online to learn this? Or is it, I need to open up a book and learn how to do this stuff, right? The second thing I want you, so make your development plan, right? So figure out, how am I going to go and get this stuff? And I want you to know you don't have to wait to get it to apply for the job. The second thing I want you to do is be able to speak to it in the event that you get in an interview and they ask you, about those gaps. You have already done the work to say, well, I don't have any experience using project management tools. However, I do have experience learning new tools very quickly, right? No, I don't have experience using project management tools, but I spent the last several months taking a course on how to use Microsoft Project. And so I've been working on that. So you can speak to that, right? And that way you don't go into the interview or into a conversation thinking, oh crap, they're going to catch me. They're going to realize I don't know how to do something. So you are empowered to say, oh yeah, I know that this is a gap, but here's what I'm doing to address it. Okay. So that's what I want you to do if you are trying to transition. And I have 2 minutes. Upper management where I work is saying that 100% work will make us less promotable. What are your thoughts? My thoughts are that is not a company you should work for. I mean, I'm be straightforward. I've been promoted. I've been remote at my job since day 1. I've been promoted 3 times. It's not the right company, friend, if that's the goal. So, I mean, that kind of leadership mentality and culture is just, if you want to be promoted. Some people don't want to be promoted. Let's be honest. Some people are comfortable where they are, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? If you want to be promoted, and that is the leadership culture, if you want to be promoted and you want to be remote, and that is leadership culture, that is not the place for you. All right. That's it. That's all the time I have. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. One of the places you teach people. Oh, that was a question for Hannah. Thank you guys for hanging out with me on this good Saturday. And hopefully you guys join the Quick Commuting Academy. Again, you can join for free for 30 days. And I do this every week, but I typically only do it for 30 minutes. It's usually just a 30-minute call. I gave you guys an hour of my time today because I liked hanging out with y'all. And because we had a special guest. All right, I'm going to get to my Saturday. You guys get to yours. Thanks for hanging out. And I hope to see you guys in the Academy. And don't forget that you can join the 5-day challenge. Thank you. Thanks for coming, Hannah. I appreciate it. It's good to see you. Oh, let me drop Hannah's 5-day challenge again. Here's the link to the 5-day challenge. Y'all have a good weekend. Bye, everybody.